What's going on, guys? It's Kyle again with DTOM Knives and Gear, and today we are going to be taking a look at this beautiful little guy. This is the Vox Dapper knife by Blade HQ and Jesper Voxnes. Such a cool little guy. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back, everybody. This is definitely not usually my cup of tea of a knife. You guys know that. Look how small this guy is. It's so tiny. This knife, however, is a wonderful representation of what I would call a great fifth pocket carry knife. This knife was provided to the channel by my huge friend, Lefty EDC. I will have him linked down below. He sent quite a few knives, and he is just one hell of a dude and has become a really good friend. I talk to him basically every single day on Instagram because we are just so much alike. Not maybe as much in our knife collecting, but as far as personality, and we're just two sarcastic guys who love to give each other hell, and it's just so much fun. So very cool, and he's just a good friend. So thank you so much, sir, for allowing me to put this in pocket, because you know what, this is of course a Jesper Voxnes design. This is a collaboration between Blade HQ and Jesper Voxnes, and then actually manufactured by Fox Knives in Italy. So I mean, I am a huge fan of Jesper Voxnes. Because I have had the Biblio, I've had the Grand, which, holy moly, and now I also have the Nimbus version 2 on the channel right now, also courtesy of Lefty EDC, that we'll be reviewing soon. But I'm just a huge fan. The guy is just, he's like a master of EDC knives and ergonomics, and that's what a lot of people say, and I would have to agree. I mean, there are some of the design cues that I may not totally agree with, but for the most part, these are just excellently made knives. Let's go ahead and flip this bad boy out. Boosh. This is what we have here. This is the natural micarta in M390. You can get this in a few different versions. Not right now, they are sold out, but they will be dropping. I'm pretty sure they will be dropping another batch of these because they're so popular and they really are well put together. But you have the natural micarta with the titanium backspacer, which is just a natural titanium. Then you have the green micarta, which has like a brass anodization on it. You have carbon fiber, which I think has some blue color to that. And then a full titanium one, and I don't remember if that has any color on it or not. But yeah, the green one with the brass looks really cool. This one is more of a plain Jane, natural micarta, and then that wonderful just natural titanium or blasted titanium. So really nice, great materials. This thing is, like I said, just a small little guy. And for me, I like the bigger knives, except for when I carry a big knife. A lot of times I do carry a backup knife or a fifth pocket knife. This is where this knife shines. The design that he has done here just is excellent. The fit and finish being done over at Fox Knives, I think, is great. You know, sometimes you have some hit and miss there. But as you can see, you have the Blade HQ logo there, which is awesome. And then, of course, the wonderful little bomb maker's mark there, which is pretty cool. I love the micarta. I just absolutely love the way they do the micarta on all of their models. The deep carry wire pocket clip is always amazing to me. It fits. It just works. It might not be the most appealing looking thing in the world, but it works, and I love it. It is right or left hand side tip up carry. Also comes with this wonderful clip point style blade, which just gives you a little bit of flat and a huge amount of belly, which is very handy in a lot of situations. You know, it does have the tip to get into, clamshell packages and whatnot, and just be able to slide through material. It is just an all around great knife. I did write this down, but I can't remember where I put that. So as far as the blade, so we're looking at about 23 or so thousandths behind the edge. And with this very narrow high saber grind, that's okay. It probably could have been done a little bit better as far as being a little knife and a little slicier. But I think it works great. I mean, because, it'll leave a durable edge on there. And so, yeah, being about 23, 24 thousandths behind the edge, I think is fine. I know a lot of people were probably hoping for just a little bit better. Excuse me, but it is what it is, and I think it works fine. The size of this knife. Yeah, the size. So, as you can see, it's a little guy. We'll do some size comparisons here, but overall length of this guy is only 6 1/8. You have a blade length of 2.375, a blade width of 0.875, a cutting edge of 2.25. Yeah, it's little. So, I only have a few little knives because I do a, like I said, a backup or fifth pocket carry knife. So, one of my favorite fifth pocket carry knives is the Kaiser Sheepdog. And so, as you can see, it's similar, but even the little Sheepdog is a little bit longer, definitely a wider blade. So the way that I carry this knife is definitely a 3-finger knife, and so I'm not able to get really a lot of pressure around it, and it is the same with this. However, I feel like I've got a little bit better control because I'm right up here behind the blade because of the way they do the jimping, and so I can put my ring finger, or my middle finger, right there, choke up on the blade, and yeah, so I've got really good control. Because of just the way it sits in my hand, the pocket clip is a little bit of a hot spot when I do that, but still not a huge issue. But between these two knives, I think I rather enjoy the ergonomics of this guy, even though the pocket clip was a little bit more of a hot spot, just because I can't choke up on this guy like I can on the Dapper. So there's one size comparison. The other couple that I have here are the Civivi Elementum, which, as you can see, is a much larger knife, still kind of small for me, but I feel like I can get a good hold of this knife because my fingers can wrap around it, and I can even choke up a little bit in this area. So, but much larger of a knife. Couple of more. The smaller knife that I still do enjoy is the Quiet Carry Waypoint, but as you can see, the Waypoint is a lot bigger. But as far as the handle size, it's just a little bit. It's just mainly the blade length that is a lot bigger. The handle size is definitely larger, but not as to the extreme as the blade length. Now, this one, I also I'm still waiting to do the review on this guy. This is the Fair & Forge Stinger. And so this Fair & Forge Stinger really is about the perfect fifth pocket knife for me, and you will see that in the full review. But as you can see, it's still a lot bigger of a knife than the Dapper, but it has a forward finger control, so the ergonomics for this really take the cake over the Dapper because of that. But and also no hot spot on this. So very competitive knives as far as that market. Definitely a little bit more expensive here. You're looking at about $150 for this guy and about $75 for that guy. But for $150, I think it's actually a pretty good deal. For the materials that you do, Buller N390, high, titanium micarta, I think it's pretty awesome. Another thing that I really like about this design is the very minimalist flipper tab. I mean, it does not get in the way at all. The jimping back here, whenever you flip the knife, gives you the purchase that you need down here to choke up on the knife, like I said. But you have the jimping on the top, and it's more of kind of like a push button, I would say, flipping action. I'm not going to say it's the easiest thing in the world, but it works great, I think. I think it works really amazing. I like the fact that they kind of made it minimalist, so it's not sticking out or anything like that. It flies out whenever you do it. The access to the lock bar is perfectly fine, as you can see there. It's got a little bit of jimping, so get your thumb in there to get it in and out of the way. Definitely not a drop-shutting knife, but you can definitely shake it shut. So just, I think, an excellent little bitty knife for carry, especially something that maybe not a lot of people are going to have, because this thing is an exclusive for Blade HQ. Now, I know that they sold out pretty fast, and I know that they're not available right now, but definitely go check depending on when you're watching this, because they should have some dropped, I would imagine, within the next, maybe even the first of the year. They don't confirm that or anything, but they've been out of stock. They flew off the shelves, and so I think they kind of hit it out of the park. I think a lot of people are going to really like this knife, and I really do like this knife as well. For a 5th pocket carry knife, this thing was a dream to carry. There are some certain things that I'd like to see changed on the design just to fit my big old meat hook hands, but they can't do that. You know, not everybody is designing knives for my hands. So all in all, I really, really enjoy it. The weight on this guy is about 2.25 ounces. So as small as it is, it's still got a little bit of heft to it, which I like. 2.25 ounces is amazing, you know, but, you know, when you're talking about something that's the bug out, it's a lot bigger and less weight. Some people might see that as a con, but I think the weight on it is perfectly fine. The only thing really design-wise is this button here, or the back side of the pivot, really, really shiny, and everything else is kind of dull, blasted titanium. Even this side, kind of the satin. That one kind of looks out of place for me. It doesn't bother me. It was just something that I heard somebody talk about, and then I looked at it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess so. It kind of looks a little out of place. Probably if it had the same kind of finish as the blade and the backspacer and stuff, I think it would be a little bit, but that's very nitpicky. You know, if I have a small knife in hand and I'm saying that I actually did enjoy carrying it, you can pretty much guarantee that it's going to be pretty good, because I just don't enjoy the smaller knives as much as I do the bigger stuff. But they do have a place in my collection. They have a place in my EDC, and this one really did surprise me. I do like it. I do recommend it if you can find one. So I love the way that Micarta changes color. When you look at this, actually, there you go, Blade HQ. That's kind of the way it looks when you first get it, and then, of course, it turns into this awesome color right here. I love that about Micarta. So anyways, guys, I love this knife. Lefty ADC, thank you so much for allowing me to have this in pocket and really give it a go for the running of a 5th pocket knife for me. And it did really well, and so I could totally recommend this thing. Guys, I really appreciate you stopping by. Check out more. Hit the subscribe button, notification bell if you want to see more. Definitely stay safe out there in this crazy world that we are living in, and we will see you in the next one.